Boom! Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. So today what I'm doing is I am just taking a look at the Primal Gear Unlimited's compact folding survival bow. Now this is a really cool bow. It folds all into itself into a nice small little package, which I'll show you here in just a second. And you know, I've just been out here shooting it for a bit, and I can tell you that I am extremely impressed with it. I can honestly tell you that I think this is probably the best design that I've seen for a compact folding survival bow. They really have thought this thing through, and they've engineered it very well. Okay, so let me go ahead and just take it down real quick, and this is basically going to be the same thing on putting it together, just backwards, but super easy to take down. Give the limbs a little tap, turn that. That's all it takes to tear it down. Now, restringing it is pretty much the same thing in reverse. Let's take the little Velcro pull tab off. Pull the limbs out, turn the tab. There's that. And then we want to take a look at the string, and we want to make sure we find the small loop and put the small loop to the bottom. Alright. Get that on there. And actually what you can do, people do it different ways, but and go ahead and put the top loop over it and slide it down along the limb a little bit. Either way will work. You put it on before or after. Okay, so once you got that loop locked into the little holes down there, or the little grooves, put your leg through and just kind of pull it and bend the limb until it locks in place. Take a look, make sure both of them are in the grooves. You're ready to rock and roll. Okay guys, so this is what the Primal Gear Unlimited compact folding survival bow will look like when it comes to you. It's got a nice little case here. Kind of reminds me of like one of the gun cases, you know, that you get at Walmart or whatever. Pretty heavy duty. Not Pelican case, you know, but I mean, hey, plenty good enough for this. So then inside you will have 3 takedown arrows, and the arrows have the 3 feather fletchings on them, and as you can see, you just take them and fold them in, and they shoot fine. You know, you don't even really notice any difference or anything like that. There's a slight ridge where they join together, but by the time your arrow passes out on the arrow rest, it's already, you know, floating anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But nice little arrows, and they will definitely do the job, and they're definitely compact, so that is pretty cool. So you get 3 of those, and then you have the bow. Now the only difference when you first get this in the mail is this is all, you know, in a little Ziploc baggie or whatever. The string is just a basic Dacron string, and does a good job. You know, I mean, these are tough. They'll last forever. I mean, they're strong enough that you could probably dry fire it and it's not going to have a problem. Now, you notice I did put on some string knocks, or arrow knocks, whatever they call them. And that's mostly just because I got the bow for my son, because he's just learning how to shoot, and I wanted to have that placed, you know, just right so that he would be able to get consistency and that kind of thing. But you can just, you know, you can pick those up at any archery shop or order them online for, you know, $5-6 or whatever. So anyway, as I was saying before when we were outside, when you're putting the string on this thing, you just want to make sure that you put the small loop on the bottom and the larger loop on the top. Okay, and then you've got the limb keeper, and that is basically just goes around this to hold the limbs in to keep it from rattling, you know, when it's in here. So, and you've got some paperwork and that kind of thing. Alright, let's get that out of the way. So then what you're left with is a what is it, about 23 inches, I think, 23 1/8 by 1.5 by 1 1/8, and it weighs about 2 1/4 pounds or so, according to the literature. I don't have a scale out right now. And all you got to do to get the bad boy out is just fold the limbs out just like that, and it's ready to string up. So you guys saw me string that up earlier. No reason to go over that. Now, some of the reviews that I've watched said that they were having a problem with the arrow rest, and that the arrow rest really wasn't sufficient enough for them, and they didn't really care for it and all that kind of thing. Now, I've been out shooting this pretty much, you know, all morning here, and I didn't have any issues with it. I think it works fine. What I did just to keep the felt to last a little longer is I take the little keeper and I put the little keeper around around the riser right here where the arrows shoot. Now, it worked fine for me. It keeps me from losing it, and it also acts as a nice little kind of a pad. Now, of course, you've got the two little felt pads right down here. I don't know. It seemed to work fine for me. I was shooting this at 10 yards to start off with, and you know, you guys can take a look at the footage here, and I shot fine with it. I mean, first time ever shooting it, you know, the first 10 shots or so ever shooting it was, you know, within a pipe plate. I mean, I was basically pretty much in the kill zone for a white-tailed deer at 10 yards. And again, I've never shot longbows before. This is a longbow. I have shot recurves, and I'll show you the recurve that I have. Actually, is right here. This is one that I made, and made it with the Three Rivers kit, and you can't really get a good look at it, but it's a nice little recurve, and that's a 55 pounder. All in all, guys, like I said, I really like this thing. It's really well engineered, and it's basically indestructible when it's folded in. I mean, you could actually physically use this thing as a club if you wanted to. I mean, it's just a huge chunk of what is it? I think it's like T6 6061 aluminum or something like that. It's like an aircraft grade aluminum. I don't remember exactly. The limbs inside of it are fiberglass limbs, and then you've got some steel bolts. I think they're steel or stainless steel bolts down here, and then you've got a couple of keepers that you turn here. Another cool thing about this bow is that it's ambidextrous. You can take the bow off, flip the limbs around, and you can do right or left-handed either way. So that is another huge benefit. It'll shoot just about any arrow. It's going to do better with arrows that have feather fletchings on it, just because of the way that the arrow rest is. The little short Ranger, plastic Ranger vanes are probably going to give you some arrow kick, you know, coming off of it. Let's see, what else can we think of? The other thing, when you got this strung up, you're going to be looking for, you want to have it set up so that you've got about a 6.5 inch brace height, and then you want to set the arrow offset on the string about 5/8 of an inch. So about 5/8 of an inch off center, and then that's how I set this one up, and it shoots great. Let me show you what that's talking about here real quick. Okay, so basically what I was talking about here is the brace height is going to basically be the distance from your riser to your string, and you want that to be about 6.5, 6 5/8, you know, somewhere in there, and that's kind of a personal thing. You can kind of play with it a little bit, and basically you can change that by adjusting the how many twists you have in the string. All right, but find what works best for you. It's going to be somewhere in that range. And then as far as the knock offset, I'm not sure if that's the exact technically correct terminology or not, but basically if the arrow is sitting directly at 90 degrees across your arrow rest, then it's going to end up coming to right about here, and you want to set that off up towards the top of the bow about 5/8 or so, and then that's going to give you the proper height so that you get a good consistent release each time. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the Primal Gear Unlimited compact folding survival bow. I've been thoroughly impressed with it. I think it's a great deal, and you guys can go check them out by clicking the link in the description below. As always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 P's. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.
Definitely shoots fast.
Yeah, it's fast. Do it a little lower.
Ah.
There you go, a little lower. Keep walking it down. Oh,
One of my biggest time wasters is driving to and from work every day. I can't text, I can't email, it's boring, and it wastes my time. But I started using Audible, listening to audiobooks as I drive. Audible gave me back 2 hours per day, and I love it. Click the link in the description below to get 30 days free, plus a free audiobook from audible.com when you sign up for the service.